just stay off the Wi-Fi, that would be great, because we're maximising Stereo's Wi-Fi and I don't know how good it is, so please, if you're taking photos or videos, please don't upload them until afterwards so that our live streaming isn't interrupted. That would be great. I just want to say first of all that it's absolutely fantastic to see basically hundreds of, mostly Scotland's vegans, but people have travelled from other places for this, in a room together, looking to be inspired and encouraged in their own vegan advocacy, and that is just brilliant.
Yeah.
Good for you for coming. Today, as you know, today's events are hosted by Go Vegan Scotland, and our strapline is "Stop the demand, end the violence." And the reason we focus on that is because all of the animal exploitation, all of the violence and killing of animals, it only happens because people demand it. And it will continue to happen for as long as they demand it. So slaughterhouses, they only exist because people demand that we kill animals so that we can eat their flesh and the other things that we take from them. Butchers only cut up dead bodies of animals for the same reason, to satisfy that demand. Farmers, many of whom are born into farming families and are continuing what their family's done for generations, they continue to use animals because they're supplying that demand. For as long as the demand is there, they will continue to exist and do that. So Go Vegan Scotland does not protest against butchers or farmers or slaughterhouses, because the reality is that they only exist and they're only doing what they're doing because of the demand. And as long as people spend their money on those things, they'll continue to supply that demand. So that's why vegan education is so critical. We have to all get to the root of this issue. And the root of the issue, the reason it happens, is people's demand. We have to get it through to people that when they spend their money, when they demand those products, there is a direct connection between that and animal exploitation and killing violence. And that's why we spend our time out on the street educating people about veganism, explaining to them the moral argument, encouraging them to see what actually many non-vegans already kind of know somewhere in there, that it's wrong and that they're doing wrong. And we encourage them to see that, and then we help them to change and to stop participating in that. And I appreciate that what we do standing on the street probably doesn't look very hardcore. So we're not wearing disguises, and we're not pitting ourselves up against the authorities. We don't have megaphones and we don't have violent images. But basic, straightforward vegan education is absolutely critical. And if we're serious about turning Scotland vegan, we all need to be doing that. Which means we all need to educate ourselves in the moral arguments, in how to deliver them, in how to answer the big butt questions that all non-vegans have, and probably most importantly, in how to have a clear, respectful discussion about things that we feel very passionately about. If we're all doing that with friends, with family, but more importantly, beyond our immediate circle, we can extend that ripple effect that we're already seeing, and we can make a real impact. So that's our perspective, and that's why, for us, James Aspey coming to Scotland was an opportunity to attract in hundreds of vegans, as we've ticked that box because you're all here, to hear an inspiring speaker who spends his time promoting veganism through non-violent vegan education. And James is going to spend about an hour telling us how he approaches vegan advocacy, what he's found works best, perhaps what he's found along the way doesn't work so well, and he's going to give us some hints and tips about our approach. And then we're going to have a good period of time for questions, because I know many of you will have questions for James, and we're going to try and get to as many of you as we can. And then finally, we've said it'll be a workshop, and that was really to get across the point that it's not just a talk, But really there's not that much we can do in this space, but we'll try and make it as interactive as possible. And that will take us up to the end. So our hope is that today will inspire many of you to become more active and to get out there. We should have vegan information stalls on every street in Scotland. So James, as you know, has come all the way from Australia, and you probably know that he spent a year being silent. I'm sure there was more to it than that. And at the end of that time, he appeared on Australian breakfast TV and broke his silence and explained why he hadn't spoken for 365 days, and you may have seen that interview. And some of you might have caught him on STV last week where he was able to revisit that as well. So with that, if you can just welcome James in the usual way, and thanks very much.
Thank you. That was a great speech. I feel like I don't really have to do much now. Job done. Thank you all so much for being here today. Very much appreciate it. It is so great to see so many people packing this joint out who obviously care about doing the right thing and about helping others do the same. So I'm very excited to be able to speak in front of so many people today. You're looking very healthy, very attractive. It must be the diet. And you're all going to be standing, so that's good. It'll put your vegan muscles to the test. See if you get enough protein or not. So I guess, I just want to first of all just start off by telling you a little bit more about myself, how I came to be where I'm at today, and just tell you some of the things that happened along the way that I think are actually useful points to consider in our own activism, in our own advocacy, that have shaped the way that I do things and that have helped me learn how to spread this message in a way that is effective, that is sustainable for us as well, because this can be a hard job to do, and that can just pave the way for the next generation to promote peace in a peaceful way. Because if we want this peaceful, compassionate, loving, respectful world, that's all we have to model. We can't tell other people to do it if we're not doing it ourselves. So I want to tell you how I think we can do that, and why I think this is the best way that we can achieve what we want to achieve, which is the end of animal exploitation and everyone eating vegan burgers together every single day. So for me, it all started about 12 years ago. I was diagnosed with leukemia and lymphoma. First time I'd ever really suffered in my life. And thankfully, a man who was a personal trainer helped me get my health and my fitness back during that time, because I put on about 25 kilos. So fast actually that the skin on my sides ripped and bled. So I was very sick, very unhealthy, and this man helped me get my health and my fitness back. And what he'd actually done is helped me out of my suffering, which showed me not only that suffering is the worst thing we can go through, but that to come out of it is one of the best things we can go through. And therefore, to help others out of their suffering is one of the best things that any of us can do in our life. So we all have this amazing opportunity with the knowledge that we know to be able to do something so incredible, to put so much purpose in our life that can help this world so much. And this man, being such an inspirational person and helping me so much, I decided I wanted to be a personal trainer as well. So I became a personal trainer for the next 8 years, very passionate about helping people out of their suffering as well. Very passionate about helping people get fit, get healthy, get strong, and enjoy life as best as they could, as best as I know how to teach them. And I ended up working on a cruise ship, sailing around the world and giving lectures on health and different classes on fitness and things like that. I met a very wise man on this ship. And this man just said one thing to me. One thing, right? We talked every day for about 2 weeks. But there was one thing that changed my life forever. And he said to me that eating animals is bad karma. He planted one seed with me. One sentence, man. And so much has happened since that. The power of our conversations can be phenomenal. You never know who you're talking to, what they're going to do, who they're going to speak to. You might inspire one person, or just plant a seed with one person who inspires someone else, who inspires someone else, who inspires 50 million people. That is truly possible and sometimes likely, because a lot of people get out there and get passionate about this because it's so important. And so this man telling me eating animals is bad karma, it got me questioning, well, I don't want bad karma. I don't know if I believe in that, but if there's some possibility here that I can improve my life, that I can feel better in some way through not eating animals, it's something I definitely want to at least look into. And so that's what I did. But before I did, I said something else that had stuck into my mind through another conversation with someone I respected, a personal training mentor of mine.
Remember guys, binge on life, purge negativity and starve guilty feelings. Speak to you all soon and love you so much.